friends. Welcome to another episode of the Eventful Life. Hope you are having a wonderful week. I'm excited, of course, to bring you another fabulous woman in business who is right here in the Fort Wayne, Indiana area. Her name is Tabor, and she is with Fancy and Staple. That is the name of her business, and I am so glad that I have an opportunity to be with her today. So, Tabor, tell us a little bit about how you got started with Fancy and Staple, and what do you do?
Okay, Fancy and Staple is a store that sells many things. A lot of them are handmade or made by local artists, or just a small batch maker in some cool city. I have a few lines that even are from London or someplace like that. So everything is really unique. Either it's packaged beautifully, or it's a towel with something funny on it, or something really cute that just makes you smile.
Yes.
A lot of unique things. Not something you would find at Target or a big box store.
Very custom.
Very custom, very specialized.
Awesome. And so how did you get started? What sparked the idea of Fancy and Staple? Because I always say that, with entrepreneurs, we didn't just wake up, and say, oh, I think today I want to be an entrepreneur. There's usually something that kind of inspires us or gives us reason to want to start, our business.
Absolutely. For me, it was always loving Fort Wayne and being from here and wanting to offer something special to the city. Trying to make it cooler here and bring that big city feel of cool boutique stores. So it was really my love affair with the city.
Yeah.
And then it was me wanting to be my own boss, make my own rules, and make it the way that I want it and pick all the things.
Yeah, it's just you're not going to tell me what to do.
Yeah. So definitely the combination of those two things.
Yeah, I love that, because I love what you said about, really just wanting to bring something to the city. I think that definitely you can see that vibe, like we talked about, you can see that vibe and that spark happening here in Fort Wayne.
Yes.
With people starting to come back to the city, or like yourself have been raised here, and so they're starting to see how can I pour back into the place that I'm from and make it, even more special, even more unique, so that others will be able to see what I see in it,
Exactly, and they'll want to stay here and raise their families here and do the same thing, and it just cycles. And
yes, which I will say already, we're seeing that it's amazing place to raise a family.
Absolutely. For sure, that part of it.
Yeah. So as you decided to, open your store and start your business, what were some of the things that, you started finding out right away, okay, I know I wanted to do this, but had no idea that I was going to run into this, or had no idea that I needed to have this? Yeah.
Well, when you're first starting a business, you don't really know what you need.
Right.
I mean, you think I need
you
this.
think you know.
I need this space and I need all this stuff, but there's all the paperwork and the legal stuff that goes along with it, and knowing what you need and when you need it and how to get it is really, really hard. So for me, I reached out to the Indiana Small Business something ISBDC, I think it is, and they were able to give you a lot of guidance on these are all the permits and whatever you might need, and here are some attorneys and some accountants that you might want to contact, and maybe here's some ideas for your business plan and small business loans and all these things. So that was really helpful. As far as finding a space and all the merchandise and all the vendors, that was a piece of cake because I already knew
a lot of different people.
Yeah, you go to all the big cities and you go into their stores and you see, okay, this is the kind of stuff, and these are the lines, and this is the aesthetic. So that was kind of a breeze, but all the legal stuff was really tricky and scary.
Yeah, I'm sure. I can only imagine, anytime we're venturing into something new, I think there are things that are going to, you know, I always say scare the bejeebs out of you, but just, you
Yeah.
know, scare you because you're like, you don't know what you don't know, right? So,
Yeah.
but that's amazing that you know, were still able to push through and also find the resources. Like,
Yeah.
that's one of the things I love that you said is, like, you reached out to the Indiana Small Business and said, like, hey, okay, I need help with this.
Yeah,
So,
I wanted to make sure I did everything right.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to get locked up or fined for not having the proper paperwork or something.
Right, like, ma'am, no, you didn't do that.
Yeah, so
That's good.
I was glad to have a resource.
That's good. That's good. So now I know you also have a little one. What's her name? How old is she?
Little Eleanor's 3.
Eleanor, and she's 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know you've been in business for about 4 years. So while you were growing this business, you
Yeah.
also were kind of growing a family.
Yeah.
So talk about that a little bit.
So I opened in October of 2015 and then found out that I was pregnant a couple months later.
Whoa.
And it was unplanned.
Okay.
And
Okay.
a surprise. So, you know, you just adjust. I just
Yeah.
immediately went into, I need to find a good person that can work here for me while I'm home with the baby.
Baby mom,
And
yeah.
so that was the first goal, and I actually had somebody that I knew,
Okay.
that I felt comfortable with, and so I hired her, and she jumped right in, and she was great.
Nice.
And then I just started bringing Eleanor in as much as I could.
So you actually brought her into
Yeah,
the store.
I had a playpen set up, and I had
Wow.
all her toys and all the things, and I would get as much as I could done
Yeah.
while I was here. And Ashley, my girl that was working, would just be here, you know, like
Yeah.
the whole day.
Were you ever afraid, like, you know, what is the customer going to say if they walk in and they see like kids like
Yeah.
playpen and toys everywhere? Are they going to think like, okay, well, what kind of operation is she running
Yeah.
here?
I was hoping that they might find it charming
Yeah.
and maybe even like relatable, and that they'd
that's
like
good,
the store
relatable.
even more.
Yeah.
And if they didn't, then they were just not nice people, and I didn't want them anyway.
Right. I love
But really,
that.
I didn't even care. I didn't have a choice. There were
good.
things I had to get done,
Yeah.
and I had her, and so you just make it work.
Yeah.
You make it work. I even took her. I took her to market several times,
Wow.
like the big market where you buy all the merchandise and
Yeah.
you just wear her around all day.
Wow, that's awesome.
So
Look
you
at
just
you.
have to.
Yeah.
But it was great, and I
Gotta
feel
make it
like
work.
even though she was a baby, I feel like I was just training her to be an outgoing, like confident
Yeah, I was gonna
person.
say, like she's seeing her mama like
Uh-huh.
tackle all these new things
Yeah.
and like this new business and just the messaging that sends to her as a, you know, maybe a baby girl at that time, but that stuff sticks with
And
them
now she's
as they
3
get older.
and she loves it here.
Yeah.
And she, you know, I think she's proud of it because she talks about mommy's store and like tells people about it. And so it's working.
Right. You're like, it's working.
Yeah.
Something's happening.
Yeah.
I love it. But that is good. I think sometimes as women, we get stuck with a fear of, okay, how can I do both and not be judged, right? Or feel like we're less than in one of those areas, whether it's motherhood or entrepreneurship.
Right.
And the fact that you just, like you said, you're like, hey, I don't have any choice, so this is what we're doing, you know?
Yeah, I
think
would hope
that's
that
awesome.
people might like look up to you because
Yeah.
you are running this business and you're taking care of that baby at the same time. Then you know,
Right.
hopefully that's the way they look at it.
Right, exactly, which more people definitely should, right? So now that you're 4 years
Yep.
into business, which is amazing,
Hooray.
by the way.
I can't believe it. I know.
Happens
Yeah.
so fast.
It does.
What do you kind of see like on the horizon for Fancy and Staple in the next year, couple of years?
We are just now finding out about General Electric, the Electric Works project.
Which is not too far from here,
It's
right?
very close to here, so I think it's actually happening.
Okay.
And once it does happen, I think it's going to get, that's just going to trickle down the street.
Yeah.
It's going to eventually get a lot busier.
Yeah.
So I'll hire a staff and just grow the merchandise assortment and have a staff and do more events and things like that. That's just regarding that. And then I do have a little trick up my sleeve, a little secret that I'm working on that I can't say,
we like
but it's
secrets.
big and it's fun and it's in the works.
Okay.
So I'm hoping by year 5 I can announce that or have it going, and you'll find out then.
I love it. Hey, so that means you've got to stay connected with her.
Yes.
And Fancy and Staple, so that you can find out about the surprise, because I know I want to know. Which brings me to, how can they stay connected with you? Like, where can they find you if they want to see what all you have going on here?
Okay, you can find me on Instagram every single day.
Awesome.
All day long. Watch my stories. They're very good.
Which they are awesome.
Or Facebook.
I love the towel. There was a towel
So
that
many
said
towels.
fresh out of, fresh
Yes,
out of,
yes, yes. That's
that was
the
so
towel.
awesome.
That's the one everybody wants.
Yes.
And I have a website, an online e-commerce that you can shop on.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so they can shop online, for stuff.
Yep.
And you guys ship anywhere in the United States?
Ship anywhere, and if you're just someone who can't make it into the store, you can shop in your home in the evening and then do in-store pickup, and
That's awesome.
if you can ever make it in. So
yeah, no, that's awesome. So everything, Fancy and Staple is where she is on website,
Yep, Fancy
on
and Staple,
Instagram,
spelled out.
everything. So share with us, I know we've got a lot of mompreneurs, women in business out there who are either in the throes of their business and they're still trying to, figure things out, which we all are, right?
Yep.
Or they're aspiring and they're trying to get started. They want to get started, but just don't know where to start. What's a piece of advice that you would leave with them, and maybe something you wish you had known, when you were first getting started?
I think my biggest piece of advice, what I definitely did, was I spent a long time researching.
Yeah.
I had so much research and so many ideas.
Nice.
So I started building the business, and I was very thorough, and I took my time and I made it exactly what I wanted it to be, and I worked out all the kinks, and I had it as perfect as I thought it could be. And I just really took my time, because you don't want to half-ass something.
Right.
That's the kind of stuff that people remember.
Yeah.
So you want to make a good first impression with every appointment that you have, and every meeting, and every visit when a customer comes into your store, and all the events and everything. So take your time, do it right, make it thorough.
Yeah.
And then as far as being a woman or a mom doing those things, is do all those things, but divvy up your time appropriately, and do the mom thing, but also make sure you're on your game when it comes to the business. Prioritize.
Yeah, and you can do both.
Yes, just prioritize your home life and your business life, and yes,
Awesome.
Those are the things.
Well, I love that. So make sure, just to sum it up, make sure you're researching. Especially when you are looking to dive into something that you haven't done before, make sure you do your homework, do your research, find out the things that you need to know. You won't know everything, and we understand that, but definitely give yourself a running start, so that you are, as Tabor said, you are prepared when you walk in the room and you have those meetings or you meet those people. And then I love the other part, which is, make sure that you understand that you can prioritize, being a mom, running a business. Everything won't be perfect all the time, but, when you have a plan to prioritize things, then at least you can take care of them as they come, So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Tabor, thank you so much for being with us today and sharing some of those nuggets. That was awesome. This is awesome. And thank you guys for tuning in. I so appreciate you. I love the fact that you guys hang in here with me every week, and show up and send me feedback and send me love and positive encouragement and all those things. But thank you. Remember, you can have it all, but you have to be willing to have it on your terms and your time. So we will see you again for another episode of The Eventful Life, and hope you have a wonderfully productive week. Bye, guys.